Have you been doing research on tractors and been like, what the heck are these guys talking about? Well, today I'm going to go over the basics on tractors for you. Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota of Lynchburg, and today I wanted to go over basic terminology and basic information on tractors. We've got a ton of other videos out there that go into the details of tractors, so those might be more applicable to you. But today I wanted to start off with the very basics. So if you just bought a tractor, you're looking to buy a tractor, you're interested in tractors, you inherited a tractor, however you're looking at tractors, I want to go over some of the most basic terminology so you understand what other people or what other videos are talking about when they're talking about tractors. So normally in my videos I'll go over specifics and very in-depth things. Today I'm going to go over basics. So behind me I have a Kubota tractor. Kubota, one of the best brands out there, you know, best Kubota diesel tractor in case you don't know that already. I'm not biased at all, I swear, but we have tractors. Almost all tractors these days are diesel. They don't make any more gas tractors, so there's one of your basic things. It's gonna be a diesel tractor. You can get four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive. Most people go with a four-wheel drive tractor. So what we're gonna start with is I like to start at the front of tractors in my videos. So this is called a front-end loader. What you'll see is you'll say, Zach, what is this LA 535 tractor? Well, that's not your actual tractor model number. This is your loader arms and the lift capacity of the tractor. Every brand, every make has different abbreviations for the tractor arms and what they mean, but this is your loader and this is your bucket. This is how you scoop dirt, gravel, mulch, manure, you dig up piles of things. You have your loader arms and your bucket. Now on the actual tractor on the hood, usually of any brand, any make or any model is going to be your model number. For example, this tells you what series it is. And almost always they reference the horsepower of the tractor. For example, this is a 26 horsepower tractor. If it said LX 4020, it would be a 40 horsepower. If it's a John Deere 1025, it's a 25 horsepower. If it's a Massey Ferguson GC 1535, it's a 35 horsepower. So those numbers do mean something. This loader is what we'll call a universal quick attach, which basically means the bucket can pop on and off very easily. In about 2 seconds of effort, this bucket can pop off and you can put other attachments and implements on there. So if you're looking at a tractor, you basically, if it's a new tractor, you want to have this universal quick attach so you can get more attachments down the road. These tractors lift up a good amount of weight for their size, but you have to, when you're looking at a tractor, make sure you're getting the right size tractor. And there's other instructional videos for that, but make sure you're looking at the right size tractor to do the projects you're looking for. One of the tips I'm gonna give you that's not really tractor related is if you're on hills or slopes, which around here in Virginia, we have all hills and slopes, you wanna keep this tractor loader bucket down low to the ground when you're on slopes. If you raise this tractor bucket up high with a heavy load, and you go to turn on a hill or slope, you will flip your tractor over. So one of the little tips, keep your loader low to the ground to keep your center of gravity low to the ground. So there's videos about tire options and that kind of stuff. We're not gonna go over that today. We're gonna go around to the back of the tractor here and to the side of it. You might see in videos where somebody says they're talking about a ropes or a ROPS or a ROPS. That stands for Rollover Protection System. That is this bar right here that if you were in the seat with your seatbelt on, always have your seatbelt on, if you were in the seat with your seatbelt on, you have this kind of zone of protection here that you'll still be safe in. A little scary, might have some brown pants, but at the same time, you're gonna have a zone of protection. So this is your ROPS. When people talk about ROPS, this is it. If they talk about a cab versus ROPS or cab versus an open station, that means a cab model will have all the glass around it and have air conditioning, heat, and everything like that. We've got a ton of cab models over there, but this is an open station, a ROPS model. So just keep that in mind. When people talk about three-point hitch or running implements, the very basics of a three-point hitch is that there are 3 points. I'm gonna say it a couple times, but your three-point hitch has a top point and 2 lower points. And you can attach your implements, which there are a ton of. Leah, you want to show them the implements? Over there, there's a tons of implements that will hook to your three-point hitch. That'll do a variety of tasks. This is the joy of a tractor. This is what a tractor is for, this three-point hitch. So you can pull blades, box blades, rakes, tillers, wood chippers, wood splitters. There's 100 different attachments you can put back here. So 3-point hitch is how you hook attachments to your tractor. So when you're looking at attachments, no, they go here. You can put some where the front bucket are, but the majority go here. Now, people call about PTO, and this is where I'm going to go into horsepower ratings a little bit. So a PTO stands for power takeoff. You are taking power off of the engine or off the transmission and putting it towards an implement. So if you're putting like a mower deck or something on the back, you're taking the power from the tractor, you're taking it off the tractor, and you're putting it to that implement. And you do that via a PTO shaft, which that is a universal 6-spline shaft right here, which you attach to your implement via what's called a PTO shaft. But there's your PTO hookup. So you have a 3-point hitch implement that can hook up here, and now you can run attachments, which is great. So when you talk tractors, you have to talk horsepower. What horsepower do I need? Okay, what is horsepower? Horsepower is the power that you're getting from your machine for whatever application you need, whether it's a rear implement, a belly mower, power going up and down hills. There's a ton of different horsepower models out there because each one has its own application. Most tractors will say, let's say it's a 25 horsepower. It's the most common one out there, 25 horsepower tractor. But some people will say, well, it's only got 20 horsepower at the PTO, which we just talked about is right here. That's because you do lose some power on the engine going to the transmission. So there's some different ratings on PTOs or on horsepower per se. So when you're looking at tractors, most places designate them as the power on the engine. This is a 26 horsepower tractor. That's 26 horsepower on the engine. That's how you're going to compare models to models. And again, whatever horsepower you need depends on what implements you want. So this is your 3-point hitch, 3 points, hook up your implements. You've got your ROPS. And then you're going to have what's called your operator station, which is where the operator goes. That's pretty simple. You're going to have your seat. You're going to have things like tilt steering column on certain tractor models. And you're going to have your controls up here. A nice, comfortable operator station is very important because when you're using this thing for a couple hours, you don't want to be stiff or uncomfortable. So make sure you get a brand that has a good operator station like Kubota. And you're going to have different transmission types. So transmission types on a tractor basically means how you're going to operate the tractor, how you're going to get it to move. Just like your car, you're going to have a manual transmission where you're shifting your gears, or an automatic transmission where you just push your gas pedal and makes it really easy, and you have cruise control, which is nice. The tractors have the same option. You have a hydrostatic transmission. HST stands for hydrostatic, and that basically means it's an automatic transmission. To dumb it down in simple words, an automatic transmission. There's no really shifting or clutching or anything like that. You push a pedal, it goes forward. You push a pedal, it goes backwards. This is great for beginners, great for loader work on it. Now, tractors do have a manual transmission, or that gear drive transmission has a ton of different abbreviations and they're different transmissions, but that's where you have to shift and clutch. If you've run tractors before and you know how to shift and clutch and everything, great. Otherwise, if you're a tractor beginner and you're like, I'm gonna get overwhelmed or I just need to use it in tight areas, a hydrostat transmission is amazing. So you have different transmission types. There's a ton of different buttons and features on here. Not gonna go over any of that because none of that's really important other than transmission, your engine, and the fact that you can get a 4-wheel drive tractor, which is almost always important, and of course your loader arms. So one of the last things I want to touch on is a lot of people talk about emissions on tractors. So anything over a 25 horsepower, which is going to be basically anything bigger than this tractor, is going to have what's called emissions on it. They call it different things, DPF, DEF, which stands for diesel particulate filter or diesel exhaust fluid. Just know that anything over 25 horsepower has to have government mandated emissions on it. Now, there are things in the works that are getting past that, and it's nothing really to be worried about. All brands, all manufacturers have basically made it nice and easy and simple for the user to get by on the emissions. So it's nothing you really have to worry about. Just keep that in mind that over 25 horsepower, there's going to be government mandated emissions, and it is what it is. So the last things you want to know on tractor basics, and the last thing I always say is there's two main rules when looking at a tractor or buying a tractor. Get bigger than you think you're going to need. That's rule number one, because we trade in a lot of equipment where people buy it and then realize 6 months or 2 years later, I want something bigger. Get bigger than you think you're going to want, get bigger than you think you're going to need, and deal local. If you can buy local, go shop at your local dealership. I'd love if you come visit me, but deal local so they can support you, they can answer all your questions, and after you buy this tractor and 3 days later, you're like, What in the world do I do now? You can just call them. So deal local, get bigger than you think you need, and if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments.